Number two, in your fingering style technique, number two, slow down. Everybody always wants to go fast. And next thing you know, they're tripping all over themselves and they can't do it. Their hand gets tense. They start at a slow tempo. And next thing you know, they want to go fast. They want to be Mr. Hotshot, and they don't learn the technique. So my advice to you is slow down. How slow? As stinking slow as you need to go to get your fingers doing what your brain is telling them to do. Yes, it's hard. It takes a lot of thought to get your fingers doing what they need to do, but it's only when you do it slow that you're actually training your hand. If you keep bumping your head up against the wall trying to do it fast, you can do that for years and never get any better, when actually doing it slow, a few minutes each day is going to get you where you want to go. Always practice with a metronome. Slow down, number two. Number three, use good technique. That's one of the best things I learned, was getting a good right hand technique. Don't have your hand way far in the back. Bring that thumb forward a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. Relax that wrist. As you speed up, don't tense up your hand. That's going to be your tendency. You're going to want to tense up that hand as you're getting faster and faster. Relax that hand. Your wrist needs to be slightly out. You don't want to go flat with it like that. Not completely far out, but just comfortable hand position. Okay? The fourth and last thing is practice and repetition. You don't get good fingerstyle technique by trying it once. It's a technique that is a physical thing, and it just takes sheer gut-wrenching repetition. So sit there with a D chord and do these exercises. Thumb 2, 1, 3, thumb 1, 2, 3, thumb 3, 2, 1. Slow over and over and over again until your mind just melts out of your ears. And then you can start doing it with your fingers, start doing it without you having to think as much. So do it for a while, then come back to it and try it again. The whole idea is that you want to be able to start doing it fast without having to think about it. So even though now you may be really lost in the thumb 1, 2, 3s, do it over and over and over and over again. The repetition will start to make that second nature, and it will start to go in running on autopilot to where you can start thinking about chords and making music. Okay, so here's your assignment for this time. Okay, practice the finger exercises that we have for you in your book. There's extra exercises in there as well for you to cover. Go over as many of them as you can. I would encourage you to go through all of them until you can play them at the right tempo that we have prescribed for you, and smoothly and evenly. You can tell when you're kind of starting to get out of control. You want to be able to do them at the right tempo, smoothly and evenly. And the last is practice the song Canon in D, Pachelbel's Canon. It's a very simple song. I've made more money off of this song playing it at weddings than I can even remember. I've played it so many times. It's a great song, and it's perfect for teaching arpeggiation and fingerstyle technique. So we'll see you at the workshop. Okay, welcome to the workshop time. Now here's where we get the good information that we've covered into our fingers and out into music. We're going to start with reviewing the basic finger patterns. What are the three basic finger patterns? Thumb 1, 2, 3, thumb 3, 2, 1, and thumb 2, 1, 3. We're going to start with the first one. In your finger exercises, we're going to be number 1. We're just on an open strings. And we're going to start out, I'm going to turn on my metronome here. Pretty slow tempo to start us out with. Ready? Number 1, go. Go ahead and repeat it. Bring that thumb out nice and in front. Relax that wrist. Each finger firing. Very good. Okay, now let's go on to number 2. I'll keep it right at that same tempo. We're going to work on that G chord first. Ready? Go. Let's go to the C chord. D chord. Stay right with that click. Very good. Let's go on to number 3. Okay? I'm going to maybe click this up a little bit. Take it a little bit faster. Starts out on that G. Thumb, 1, 2, 3. Ready? Go. Thumb, 1, 2, 3. C chord. Let's go back to that G chord. Just repeat it. C chord. Great. Okay, let's go to number 4. Let me crank it up a little bit more. Starts on that D chord. Ready, play. G chord. A chord. Let's repeat it. Great. Okay, now let's go to that second pattern, which is thumb 3, 2, 1. I'll bring it back down slow for a second. Let's do number 1 on the next page. Ready? Go. 3, 2, 1. Thumb. 3, 2, 1. Thumb. 3, 2, 1. The whole idea is control. Make your fingers do what your brain's telling them to do. Good. Let's do number 2. Speed it up a little bit. Number 2. 2, ready, go. Great. Okay, now just for fun, let's crank it up quite a bit. We're going to do number 2 again. A good bit faster. 1, 2, ready, go. Great job. Now let's do number 3. We're on the third pattern now. Thumb, 2, 1, 3, which for me is personally that's the one I use the most. Okay, let's try that. Starts on a G chord. Ready, go. Thumb, 2, 1, 3, thumb, 2, 1. Now C chord. Great. Okay, now let's do number 4. I've cranked up the tempo a little bit. Give us a little bit more practice on it. Let me bring it up a little bit more even. Now let's do number 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, let's bring it up just a little bit more. Let's try it one more time. Ready, go. Good. Okay, now we're going to take a look at Pachelbel's canon. Canon in D. I'll try and get through as much of it as we can here, but you're probably going to have to do a good bit of work on your own. Okay, let's start it. It's mainly dealing with thumb 1, 2, 3, our first fingering pattern. Starts on a D chord, goes through a lot of the open chords that we've already talked about, as well as some of the bar chords, so it's a real good practice on all of this. Okay, let me crank the tempo down pretty far. Here we go. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Okay, that's the first part of it. Okay, let me speed it up a little bit more, just a little bit more, and we'll try it a little bit faster during that first part. Now, you also have a D with an F sharp in the bass. We haven't gotten to talking about those chords yet, but here's the form of it. It's basically a D chord, and you have this F sharp with your second finger down there, and that's what gets that F sharp there. If you just follow the tablature, it'll show you what to do. Here we go. First part again. Ready, go. Slowly and evenly. Here's that D with an F sharp. Good. That second part, let's turn this off. That second part, I'll just play for you and you can practice on your own. Okay, the second part, you're using thumb and third to get these first couple of notes. It's always thumb and third. So that's part 2. Now the third part here, it gets into some 16th notes, so it's going to take a little working on it to get these 16th notes down, but it goes something like this. Great. And the last part goes something like this. Great. Well, I look forward to seeing you next time. You keep working on all the fingering and the fingerstyle things that we talked about. A little practice will take you a long way. We'll see you later.